Hey everyone, I'm VenomousStare bringing you StarCraft 2 action at the highest level. Innovation vs. Dart Game 2 is what we have today. And I really like this map because it allows you to wall in and play very safely. We see oftentimes players will be able to wall themselves in and they will go for fast expands, so I will be interested to see whether Innovation goes for his normal Reaper build or does something else here. Another thing interesting to point out is since many people, ooh, it looks like CC first actually from Inno. Since this is a map that is considered such a good macro map, since you have this little pocket base that's like inside of your main, sometimes we do see that people will do a lot of ridiculous proxies on this map because they'll think, well, if the natural's so easy to take, that means the chances of my opponent expanding are very high. But we can see that both players are just simply going to take advantage of the map and not try to think too much about it or try to counter what the other person's most likely to do. They're just going to play to the map and do what they think is best. And for Innovation, that was CC first. I love this build. He made a CC before his barracks. I will be interested to see whether he even bothers with the Reaper. The Reaper is so good that it wouldn't surprise me if he still makes it, but double gas here from Innovation, so we might see the same double factory style that we saw in the last game. And if you didn't see the last game, you have to go check it out. It's on my channel. So a Marine. That's interesting. I like this. This is useful because it can chase off overlords, and you have a pretty good idea where the first couple overlords are going to go. Probably one around right here, or right here, or right here, you can guess. So we can see Innovation is going to go right to that corner and chase off the overlord. It's also going to wall in with the factory here. Now, one of the most important parts about opening Marine is not only chasing off the overlords but threatening to kill the overlords. So now, just because Innovation made one single Marine, Dart can't get the scouting information he wants, and he has to be worried about all of these other overlords being hunted. So look at this one, it just parked right out here, kind of like by the fourth. This overlord ideally wants to be over the third, or like back here to scout. This overlord over here wanted to peek in and scout the main, but the Marine prevents it at all. So that's extremely good, and it shows that you don't have to open Reaper every single game. Some people think that just because you see Reaper so often you have to do that. Reaper's very good. It prevents you from being cheesed in many ways. But we can see that Innovation opens Marine here, prevents scouting info, and he's going to factory once again. Dark is not one to be denied scouting information. He just goes ahead and gets that extremely quick OV speed, and he's going to fly in and try to see what he can get done. Speaking of getting things done, which is apparently everyone's biggest political priority instead of their actual values, but that's a topic for another video. Hellions are going to scout around here as the Roach Warren is about halfway done. Now in the last game we saw that Innovation did a pressure just like this. He committed hard to kill 3 queens, didn't really have many units in the mid game, and Dark was able to macro up and win the game against full-blown Mech. Same deal. Hellions were pressuring right as the Roach Warren finished. Cyclones are going to join the force relatively quickly. They're the first couple. And again, this one Marine is going to kind of make that overlord wary. That might not seem like a big deal, but Dart getting scouting information throughout the entire game is actually a big deal. Lings are going to run around and act like they want to flank, but Innovation knows he can basically one volley these Lings. As long as he doesn't focus queens though. The first roaches are out. Innovation does have to be careful, and look at that. He fought the beefy units for just a second, and that was the result. But Innovation's his armory is about to finish. and this push at the front door could turn very sour for Dark. He has roaches coming out though, and I think he will hold here as roaches come out right at the right moment. The armory finishes, but the Hellions die, and Innovation kills a couple Ravagers, and now he's probably going to bean dip. Actually, he pulls up with a couple Hellbats. Dark has a lot of roaches though. I don't expect... Well, Innovation's going to fire this hatch, and Dark has to be careful. But I don't really suspect that he'll actually kill that. But Innovation scared even me for a second. Of course, his third is halfway done. He's landed his racks out here to scout. He's still producing dutifully off of those two factories. His +1 has started from his armory. Back in Camp Dark, what do we see? Well, he's gone Roach. Okay, he's gone Roach. Cute. He's also started to tech into Lair so he can actually get Roach speed. And Dark is going to run across the map. Now, it is a very bad sign when your Roaches are slower than your Ravagers. That's actually just how slow no speed Roaches are. Innovation's third base will definitely complete, so even if something goes horrifically wrong, he'll be able to lift. At this point, Innovation has a fair amount of units, and I don't really suspect he'll lose this fight. Innovation's going to fight over here with Dark. You're going to exchange a little bit of damage. Corrosive Vials are going to be thrown forward. Innovation, of course, has SCVs repairing as though they were medevacs. But as soon as these roaches die, Dark has to be careful. You do not want to fight straight up with Ravagers. They actually have less health than roaches despite being bigger. And 8 SCVs died during that. Those were the repairing SCVs. Lots of drones over here at the third base of Dark. He's started to tech into upgrades as well, and his speed. Now it is worth noting that, yeah, he hasn't even started upgrades yet. He does have, obviously, both of those speed upgrades, which he gets almost every game, but Innovation has +1, about to complete. He's starting 3 factories, while these Zerg players start to tech into Hydras. If we go to income, both players are about even. Dark is taking a 4th. This is not going to last long at all, as Innovation morphs Hellbats, and over here this 4th base is just going to get crushed. If Dark tries to defend, I fear he will just lose his army. Innovation picks off a Roach. Innovation does have to hem and haw and be very careful about not standing in Corrosive Vial, because Dark is so good at using that spell. But at the same time, if he is just careful and diligent with his micro, he's not really in that much threat or risk. Innovation has started an eBay. This is good because you can build missile turrets, obviously. He started his second armory as well, so you won't really have to worry about this double Evo chamber becoming an issue. Dark has started Hydra speed. He's going to tech into Hydra here. He desperately needs a 4th base because he is even in bases with Terran, and of course the old adage goes that Zerg always wants to be a base ahead. Blue Flame is on the way for Innovation as we see the exact same follow-up as we saw last game, which is full-blown Mech. Now what do I mean by full-blown Mech? I mean that instead of just making barracks or making factories and then making reactors and going into this mid-game Cyclone Hellbat thing, Innovation's gone for Mech. Beefy, siege tank backboned Mech. He's also started to research Blue Flame, which is great because Hydralisks are light units, and actually whenever you have a Hellbat frontline and your opponent's trying to go for Roach Hydra to beat Mech, as soon as you kill the Roaches, man oh man, those Hellbats just eviscerate Hydras once they get on top of them with Blue Flame. Last game, one of the things that made Innovation lose in this best of 5 were the drops of Dark, and not many Zerg players do drops like this and accompany them with Burrow as we saw last game, but we don't have Burrow this game, and we have a much more prepared Innovation, and suddenly Innovation loses his Dropper Lord. So the true threat of that drop, which is the ability for it to be picked up, is snuffed out. The roaches themselves are destroyed easily, and Dark's little push at the front door to distract Innovation didn't work at all. Innovation is scanning once again to see the hive timing around 10 minutes. Dark does have a finished gold base and a finished fourth base. The players are going to hem-haw around, and once again Dark is going to throw Corrosive Bile down, but Innovation has not lost any workers. He's going to be able to max much faster than he did last game. Remember, last game he didn't even really get to max. He was always being hamstrung right before he could. And at this point, Dark is behind in supply. And Innovation is going to continue to produce units that do absurd splash damage. And Dark is going to continue to produce units that die to Terran Mech because his hive is not yet completed. Innovation has started attacking the starport, and Innovation is at a huge power spike right now as he has an upgrade advantage, a tech advantage, and an army advantage. And Dark is going to be hard pressed to defend here. He's going to sweep in here from the north. Innovation has a lot of unsieged units. He does a little nice mech split there, and Corrosive Bile are going to go down. Dark has delayed Innovation for countless minutes with these Corrosive Biles. He snipes 2 tanks there. That's why Innovation doesn't just bull true forward, but Innovation is continuing to leap forward with these tanks, doing a great job leapfrogging with the tanks. Dark is going to run forward with everything. Notice Dark has been spending his money very well, has been producing so much, and his army is just going to get crushed with these tanks. These tanks do so much damage. As you see, this fourth base is going to fall for Dark. The gold base is still up, but it's not mining gas, and the Cyclones do a ton of damage, and suddenly Dark is going to run it again with the token force, and this is the problem. He knows he has to defend the fourth base to win the game, but at the same time, despite the fact he's been macroing pretty damn well, he does not have the units to defend that base, and it goes down. And suddenly Innovation can move all the way forward because he's cleared out the creep, and Dark is going to be hard pressed to win this game because he's not mining any gas over here. Innovation has a ton of workers and a ton of income. Dark was not able to produce Vipers. He got pushed right before his Vipers were able to be made. A nice little pre-hive timing for Inno, and he caught his Zerg opponent on Roach Hydra. Dark loses another base, and at this point Inno can win simply with unsieged tanks. He's hitting Dark right in the mouth here with this mech, and he's going to tie up the series 1-1 here as reinforcements stream across the map. 31 drones have been lost. This is a best of 5, so you will have to subscribe. You do not want to miss any of the subsequent games, and make sure you click the little bell notification and follow me on vid.me and gab.ai as well.